What's going on? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I want to talk about the envelopians and how they are raising the future demons of this world. All right, and I'm talking about the envelopians with the money. All right, you got the envelopians, then you got the envelopians with the money. They start with a J. They ain't nothing but envelopians with the money. All right, and I'm gonna attach a clip to this video to demonstrate what it is that I'm talking about, because while we are, trying to figure ourselves out, while we adults, right? Well, us adults, middle-aged, young, our Gen Z, all these, while we're out here fighting a good fight, trying to figure out what our identity is as black people, where we're gonna go in this world, how we're gonna empower ourselves, which movement is the best, which movement is more efficient, do we want to delineate? Do we want to, be a part of the bigger body? Like all sorts of different things. But one thing we all collectively need to pay attention to, I'm talking about FBA, ADOS, Pretendians, Pan-Africans, Black nationalists, regular African Americans, they don't care about none of this, passport bro, any type of name, group, Moors, the freaking Hebrew Israelites, the Hoteps, all us black folk here in America and abroad. What we really need to focus on, despite all of our individual differences and how we be banging on each other because we don't believe in this, or we think that that's offensive, or this, how we do this as adults, no matter what, one thing we all need to do is we need to get our children prepared for those baby demons that are being raised right now. All right, right now the what do you call it? The frog is boiling very slow in the pot. The frog is boiling very slow in the pot, all right, as far as what's happening now. The envelopes are losing power. We never thought we would see this. We never thought in our lifetime that the envelopes would be losing power. And, and it's kind of weird that as much power as the envelopes grabbed around the world so fast and viciously, their reign of terror is coming to an end. Their European institutions are at war with each other. There are several other European wars happening right now that you don't know about, right? Where they're killing each other by the thousands, all right? European countries are disconnecting from each other. Some of them have figured it out, and they're trying to attach themselves to the global south, meaning African black people. You got, European countries that never participated in the transatlantic slave trade, never participated in any of the Anglo-Saxon, Francophone, world domination and destruction. They didn't participate in that, but them themselves are being attacked by those very same entities. There's a lot of stuff going on that a lot of us are not aware of. But while that's happening, these envelopians are preparing their little children to be just like them, right? We think that racism and white supremacy and their white Christian nationalist terrorism, we think that that's something that's just gonna go away as people get smarter and smarter. No, it doesn't matter how smart we are. The envelopes know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't actually mind grape, murder, and pillage. This is a part of their culture, to grape, murder, and pillage. It's a part of their culture. It's a part of who they are. It's how they identify. It's how they experience this world, through graping, murdering, and pillaging, and stealing other people's stuff. They inherently believe that everything belongs to them, right? Just like France. French don't seem to understand why is it that African countries don't want to be taken advantage of by them. Like like you look at Macron, he's literally talking in the age of information, and he's confused, and all the politicians in France, not the French people. So when I say fuck France, I mean fuck the French elite, the politicians, the boulets. Now we're talking about the regular people, because they getting fucked too, all right? They don't like the French. But in the age of information where everybody knows now, these envelopians, they're just flabbergasted that African people don't want to be exploited anymore. They just can't fathom why Niger would want to raise uranium to 200 euro a kilo instead of selling it from the old rate of 18 cents a kilo. They just don't get it. They don't get why Asian countries, Arab countries are rebelling against them and trying to form their own institutions. They don't seem to get why the melanin world is taking advantage right now and trying to grab power. They don't get it, right? They don't understand why the rest of the world don't want them as white people to dominate them. They don't get it. It's not in their nature to understand such things, right? So they're training their little children, right? Which is unfortunate because, you know, when you look at a little envelopian, you know, a little kid, they're innocent. They haven't been spoiled by their parents. But then as they get older and their brain, they start to get trained to be hateful, to be mean, to be nasty, to be racist, to be xenophobic. By nature, as a cultural institution, this is how they are. And that means while we're over here fighting each other, while we're, you know, making all these camps, and we got our little children, right, who all they doing is watching cartoons, playing football and basketball, and wanting to be famous and rich and go on Instagram and do tricks and do scams and shit. They're training their little envelopes to be murderers. They're training little envelopes to be killers. They're training their little envelopes to not be ashamed of rape, murder, and pillaging, as long as it's coded with national arms, as long as there's a country behind it, as long as there's a religion behind it. They've always justified their debauchery and the shit that they do with religion. They're afraid of everybody that's not them. They've always been like that. And they've always fought each other. You see, this is so much of their culture that they will kill each other, right? And they still got time to be racist and discriminatory against you, i.e. the Nazis in Ukraine, right? Right? The Nazis in Ukraine still had time while they were being invaded, right? They still had time to be racist to us and neglect us and harm us while they were at war. See, white people can be at war with each other and kill each other on a massive nationwide scale and still cooperate to take advantage of us. All right? Now, the Russians know all about it because they, as Europeans or Eurasians, they're kind of different. As Northern Europeans, they've been dealing with these same Anglo-Saxons trying to take over Russia for hundreds of years. All right. Russia's been a victim of these same white people that victimize us. All right. That's why we can kind of, you know, even though they are white European and we do know there are Russians who are racist, but it's not really on that level. It's different. It's not on that level like the Nazis in Ukraine. All right. Who are actually Nazis, like legitimately, right? Who are raising little Nazi children. Right. And these little Nazi children, they're going to be the governors, they're going to be the mayors, they're going to be the generals, they're going to be the presidents, the prime ministers. Same in America. These old politicians, these old Republican right-wing politicians, they're going to train their children, right? They're going to train their children to be little racist, to be discriminatory, to be xenophobic towards anybody that don't look like them or don't practice the same religion as them. It don't even matter if you white. If you white and you Muslim, that's a problem because there's a lot of white Muslims. They don't like to talk about that. There's a lot of white European Muslims. They don't like to talk about that. There's a lot of white Muslim genocide happening in Europe right now, but they don't like to talk about that, right? Because they want to equate Muslim with Arabs or people from the Orient. But all I'm saying is, guys, we need to start training our children to prepare them that they're going to be in a fight. We're not going to be here forever. We're going to get old and we're going to die. And we have to prepare them for the fight that they're going to have to deal with. We need to take steps, right? And when we take a step, we need to lock that step down so that we can push our children up. That's what our job is. Our job is to sacrifice ourselves while we're here so we can push our children and prepare them, give them the weapons they need, give them the knowledge they need, give them the financial education they need, give them the political education they need so they can combat these little devils in training, these little demons in training. Because when we gone, the whole world is going to be left to them. And they're going to have to deal with the consequences of what it is that our counterparts, our ops, are training their children to do. Why our children are just trying to be Instagram models, trying to be TikTok stars, trying to do pranks, trying to get big on YouTube, just want to play sports. They just want to take the easy way out. Black people like taking the easy way out by using their natural inherent talents to gain money. That's a problem we have. We have these natural talents that we know we can easily make money off of. So we take the easy way out and we do all this physical stuff because we know if we can dominate, we can get up in there, we rich, is game over. Instead of using the other thing that we are excellent at that we barely use. That's our brain. We're smart enough to succeed with our brain just like we do on the football field because we're geniuses. We're the architects of this world. But because we have a self-loathing that's built into us, because we still suffering from PTSD from the transatlantic slave trade that only ended 100 years ago, people act like it was 500 years ago. This shit ended 100 years ago. Your grandmama was a slave. We still got people that's alive right now that mamas and daddies was slaves. The shit just ended. And then after that, we had to deal with Reconstruction, the KKK, Jim Crow. This shit never stopped. It ain't never stopped on us. We never had a time to be like, damn, it's over. It ain't never been over. This shit's we've been pushing these dudes back. Everything that we've been able to do right now is not because they was willingly giving it. It's because we had to fight for every step, for every opportunity that we had to fight for that shit. And they have not been willing to give it to us. We had to take it from them. Everything that we gained to this day is because we took it. We put the pressure and we forced it. That's what our ancestors did. And we got to keep that. We got to keep doing that. We can't get relaxed and complacent thinking that everything's sweet. We can't get relaxed and complacent and think that we just participate and we just pull our pants up and we just tie our shoes and we just cut our hair and we just wear a suit and we just talk like them, that everything is going to be all right. It's not. It's in their nature to try to destroy anything that's part of nature. Anything a part of nature, they destroy it. And we are part of nature. We're the curators of nature. We're the first humans on this planet. It's our job to protect the thing that was given to us by the divine. And we need to start doing that by taking care of these viruses and putting them in their place so that the rest of humanity can live a decent life and so we can evolve as human beings and go do some amazing shit. Without, you know, we got the talent and intellect to do amazing stuff. You want to go to the stars? Well, we got to stop these wars so we can have enough time to study and make discipline so we can concentrate on things that's important, like exploring life. We can't do none of that when we got to deal with these viruses that grow and fester, that's being trained to be hateful, nasty, devourers of life. The devil is something that devalues something. These people devalue everything they touch. Animals go extinct. All right? Weather patterns change. Whole populations of people disappear. Whole nations crumble simply because they're there. Every place they ever been, that's what they do. That's their imprint. That's their legacy. And they're going to pass that legacy on to their youth. And if we're not careful, our youth are going to be victim of their youth. So they need to be armed and prepared. And all of us, no matter what camp you with, if you black, if you got ancestors that came from Africa, if for some reason you believe that you some sort of goddamn aboriginal, whatever, and you've been here for whatever, if your skin looks like this or darker, you need to prepare your children for the future, because they're going to have to battle these little badass demons that are being trained currently. And that's for real. And that is for real. All right? So without further ado, I'm going to give you an example of what we got to deal with. And I know my people in New York, you've seen something like this. And this clip is, if I could go find a whole, but I can put 2-3 hours worth of this same type of example on here by the same group of envelopians with money and envelopians that ain't got no money. Okay? But anyway, without further ado, look at this example and take my word seriously on this. This is serious, guys. This is serious. We got to prepare our children. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn some, teach some. I'm out.
What, by the children? Shake it, shake it.
Why do you raise your voice? Why you raise your voice? You're such a good person when you raise your voice. Please don't. Let me raise my voice like you. You're supposed to, don't raise your voice and go. 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 Because you're inside of people. Try to understand. You're inside of people. Please go.
Let us leave.
What inside people?
Let us leave.
Yes,
Say that.
go. What inside people?
Stop it.
Let's go. Let's walk.
You're coming to insult people, please don't.
We got you on film. Oh, we got you on film. We got you
Please
saying
don't. You have to
nothing to the
respect other
children.
people's.
We're leaving, and you're following.
Very good. Very good.
Zoom.